Good evening, everybody. So, again, another, what shall we call this? Something out of the ordinary, something not quite the norm. Something new, something interesting, something different, perhaps. Yes, all of that and more. I am making what they call a tinsegrity structure. So tensegrity, that's an interesting word. Essentially, it's like a portmanteau of tensile and integrity. So it's integrity by tensile strength, maybe. So the basic concept is to hold an object up. Instead of using compressive force, you're using tensile force. You're using, instead of squeezing things together, you're stretching things apart. So, um, let's see. I'll go ahead and kind of create a sketch here to kind of give an idea. So you have, a top structure here. You have a bottom structure here. Normally, you would support that structure with, a couple of, solid pillars, like here and here, for example. But in this case, we're not going to use solid pillars. We're going to use string. A string here, and a string here, maybe? Now, I know what you're thinking. Strings, really? No, strings aren't gonna hold. But the trick with this is that you have, whoops, I didn't want to do that. You have some structure out here that, maybe comes and curves this way on this side, and then comes and curves this way on this side. Okay, so you have that, and you have a string that goes from this side to this side, and that string is not, we can make that, boom. Okay, now it's vertical. So you have a string that is here. Now, if you push down on this, what's going to happen is it's going to pull down on this string here. Okay, so, if you push this side down, it's going to pull down. Well, that's not going to want to move because you're going to be stretching that string. So long as the string has the tensile strength, it'll keep these two together. And then you'll have a couple of strings here and here that will be used to basically keep the structure stabilized. So in the case of mine, I'm going to have a triangular arrangement of strings. So they'll be arranged in a triangle because it's the three sides stable form. And that'll keep it stabilized as far as keeping the structure from, tipping or whatever. But the main support is going to be this center member right here. So that is what we are going to create here. And I am going to go all the way back to the very beginning. And I don't want to be in surface, I want to be in solid modeling. So that is tensegrity in a nutshell. All right, so let's embark on our tensegrity journey here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by creating our triangular platform here. So I want to be on that top plane, and I'm going to create, and I'm going to use a regular, create a, I think I'll use inscribed polygon, and we'll go ahead and start that puppy out from the center, and number of sides is going to be 3. So that looks for all the world like a triangle. I'm going to have my radius about 50 millimeters. My 3D printer's build platform is only 120 millimeters, so I think a 50 millimeter radius, which will give 120 millimeters at each of the points of the triangle, should be sufficient. Good enough distance. So I'll go ahead and lock that in. I think, yeah, I'll go ahead and have that pointing out in the positive y direction. Sure, why not? All right, so there we go. We got our equilateral triangle, and so that will be our base, and we'll set up tie-offs eventually for tying off the strings. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead and finish that sketch and do an extrude. And we'll extrude up, we'll say, it'd be about 4 millimeters thick, not 44, whoops, 4 millimeters thick. There we go. Okay, so there we go, we've got that, and what I'll do is I'll come back later and add some means of tying off on these areas of the triangle here, whether it be a hole through the triangle or whatever. Okay, so next, let me create another sketch. And this sketch, let's see, I want this sketch, put it on a XZ plane right here. And so what I want to do is I want to create a shape here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this shape as a spline. I'm going to go ahead and start it on this line here. Hopefully have it come up here a bit and come over, and I'll set the tangency on that later. Move this way some amount, and then this way some amount, and click OK. And I want this handle to be vertical, and let's see, I want this handle also, no, this handle, this point, and this point. Let's see if I make those, this point and this point. Oh, it won't let me. Well, let me think here. How do I move this? There we go. Just move this over a bit. Move this down a bit, and move this down a bit. And actually, I think I want to move this over here. And project that line there, and I'm going to drop that on there like that. And I'll take this and here, take this, and then I want this point in the center. And here's where things get a little bit tricky, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a line from here to here, vertical line, and I don't want this to be, and actually, okay, so line. So what I don't want is I don't want anything more than 45 degrees in this area here. So let me see, dimension between here and let's see, another construction line. There we go. There's a reason why I want to get 45-degree angle in here. Let's see, dimension here and here, and I want this to be 45. So essentially what this is going to do is, because of overhangs, I don't want anything greater than 45 degrees, so it'll make 3D printing this a little bit more tolerable. I'm going to say that there, and then I go ahead and spline it from here. Oh wait, go ahead and snap a dimension onto this little segment here. I'll make that 3 millimeters. Okay, now I can do my, so do a spline, and let me get out of construction mode, and let's do a spline, and we'll come down here like so, and then we can come this way a bit. Go ahead and so we'll take these, this handle here and this handle here. And I actually want to get rid of that coincident constraint there. I want to keep my 45-degree line there. But what I want is I want to take this and put this handle here and this handle here. Trying to keep that curvature. I want this, actually I want this point to be vertical with the center. Okay. I don't know. It's looking a bit ugly here. So it's okay if this curve comes in here like that. Yeah, it's okay if this curves in like that, and I'll pull this in a little bit more here. And I'll pull this out a little bit more here to give it a little bit more. I have to keep in mind, ooh, that's one thing I have to keep in mind here. Let me intersect this body, because I'll go ahead and make those construction lines. This is, I need to make sure that this point is there. Okay, and I'll take in, so this kind of little shark fin shape here, and then we'll, oops, that did not. I'll leave that like that. Let's see. Okay, I want to make this a little bit. No, I want to keep that at 3. Yeah, I'll keep that at 3. Although, what I think I will do is I will make a tangent arc here and not construction line it. But I will construction line it. And make that construction line too. Though this this does not have, can I make that, can I make this in this tangent? this tangent to this? Yes, but it does bad things. Over here. Can I get around that? Yeah, just like that. Okay, and kind of fix this curvature here a little bit. Okay. I think that's pretty decent. It kind of looks like a cresting wave. I like it. I like that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So, the cresting wave motif. Alright. So then I will finish the sketch. And I will extrude this profile. Let's see. Yeah, profile plane is good. Symmetric and whole length. And I also want this to be, I think I'll make this 5 millimeters. That sounds good. And I'm not going to join. I'm going to make this a new body. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this triangle here, I'm going to extrude it, and I'm going to intersect up with this, and that's going to be only up to cut. Make sure. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that body right there. Okay. So we've got that, and that looks kind of, how you doing there? Let's go ahead and do some fillets here, kind of smooth that out a bit. Whoa, too much fillet. Let's see. 3 millimeter? No, that won't do. Okay, let's not add that. So we'll do maybe a 3.5 millimeter fillet there, and then do another fillet here. 2, 1. Maybe if I change the continuity of this to G2. Oh. Okay, let's see. Take this edge. Let's see if I can get G2 continuity on this edge. Back up. Point 6, 8, 5. I'm sure there's a way to do this without having to do the whole spray and pray, but there we go. So it gives a little bit better. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, let's see. We'll take this fillet. Yeah, 3.5. Oh wait, I said on G1 continuity. I thought it was G2 continuity. Huh. Alright, there we go. No. No tangent chain. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah. Let me take this and sorry, silence here. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let's try this here then. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So then these should be two separate bodies, yeah. So this body here me do something first. I'm going to do an offset plane. I'm going to choose that. And this is by no means any sort of I want these two structures to overlap about like that. Then I want to make a midplane. Bam, bam, like that. And then I want to make an axis through two planes. Should be plane, plane. And then I want to create a circular pattern. A circular pattern. And we'll pattern bodies. We'll use this as the axis. You may be wondering, why a circular pattern? Well, the reason why a circular pattern is because I did it along the wrong axis. That's why. Okay, so trying to think. I want that axis to go through here. So let's see. Let me. Okay, that plane and this plane. Okay. So axis through two planes, and I want one of those planes to be that, and this plane to be that. Now I'll do a circular pattern, and it's my object, body, this body. Oh, what's my axis? This axis. Woo, 3 axis. Okay, so 2. It's a little bit further apart than I would like them to be, but we'll go with that for now. And I'll go back to this offset plane here, and I'll move that offset plane up a little bit, and it'll recalculate, and that's more like what I want. So you can see that there will be a string going from here to here. And I will need to notch those out, but first I gotta deal with this thing. So what I am going to do is I'm going to mirror body, this body, and that plane, and bingo. So now I've got this entire structure right here, and this will be the tinsegrity structure. So that is such a weird term. I might see if I can go back to this. Nope, not that sketch. Undo. This sketch. And I want to see if I can take this arc. I want this arc to come out a little bit further. And what I think I'll get rid of that arc. And I will create conic curve. This point this point. Oh. Let's do that again. Conic curve. This point, this point. I think I can have this kind of come out a little bit, and I'll set it there, and I will make this tangent to this, this tangent to this. Okay. That's a conic curve, I think. Mm-hmm. There we go. That's what I was trying to do, is adjust that. All right. But I think I want this to come out a little bit more. Bring this handle down a bit. Some really fuzzy, soft. What's the dimension between the? I don't think I can actually get a dimension from here. Oh, wait. Okay, driven is fine because I just want to see. Think. Take this handle and move it that away a bit. I think that'll do right there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. So then, let's see. All right. Next part about this is going to be having a way to tie off. So I think I will create a new sketch. Whoops. Not quite what I want to create a new sketch. I want to create a sketch on this plane. And see that center line there. So what I want to do is I want to come in and I want a line here, and I'm going to go 45 degrees. Boom. And 90 degrees. Boom. And I'm going to do same thing over here. Let me start on this side here. I'll come in at some distance there. 1, 2, 3. I want this angle to be something. I want this angle to be the same something. Okay, so then I want this. Make a construction line from the midpoint up to the tip of this. Okay, and then I want this construction line to be perpendicular to this. I need to project that one. Go ahead and project all of this out. Okay, so I want this construction line then to be perpendicular. Oh, I see how you're going to be. Okay, so make another construction line here. Oop. And I want this construction line to be tangent to. Really? Okay then. You know what? No, those will be just straight vertical. Okay, so I'll have that. Another line, and I'll reference this line here. And I'll start with my center here, referencing this line. I'm going to turn construction off. So it should be parallel. And this line here, and then referencing this line, I want this line to also be parallel. Okay, so from here to here, I want to reference that line. I want to say, make me a parallel line, please. Come on. Referencing this line. So referencing. Okay, you know what? You're just not going to cooperate. Okay, parallel. this and this will be parallel. Thank you. And now I'll come down here. And this should not be coincident. What the hell? Okay. There. And down here. And we're going to go all the way back because I'm going to go back to before I created this pattern. We'll create the sketch on this plane. And I will come in here like so. And I think instead of doing what I was doing before, I'll come in with a line and make an arc, line, and then close. And let's see, I will drag the center of that arc over. I want that center of that arc on that center line right there. And then line. Reference to this line, this arc. Yeah, we'll fix that momentarily. Okay, so I want that to be horizontal. And I want this point to be horizontal with this point. And we'll move this arc up here a bit. And I want one of these points to be vertical with the axis. And that will give me my cutouts for the strings there. And we'll go ahead and set a width here, and we will do, let's see, how does that look with 1.5? Oh, wow. Okay, I want this to be vertical with this. There we go. That'll work. what's the distance between dimension, I want tangents, tangent to tangent to here, and tangent to here. 2. I don't want that to be too thin. Okay, so we have that. Now then, I just want a couple of small notches so I can tie string around that. Profile, direction, symmetric, and pull. And yep, that looks good. So now we've got a couple little mouse teeth coming out of that. That may or may not need support. Probably going to have a column of support going from here to here. I don't like that idea, but it's better than having support all through this. So, okay. Now we'll go back. There we go. That's much better. So now I've got those little mouse bites to tie the string onto. And going to essentially do the same thing to the corners, but not quite. So these corners here, I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I will see which one do I want to. I think I want to go before this mirror operation here. And I'll create a sketch, and I'll do the sketch on this midplane. Project this as construction geometry. Okay. Now then, I want to basically do the same thing I did, but not quite, because I'm going to do things a little bit different here. I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of lines. They're going to go through here like so. They're not construction lines. And I want this line to be parallel with this. And then I'm going to create another line like so. And I want these two lines to also be parallel. Now I want some distance between these two lines. And I'll make that 1.5 millimeters. What the heck, why not? That is aligned, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Now that I've got those two lines, I can finish the sketch. And what I'm going to do then So I'm going to go modify, and I'm going to split some faces. I'll split this face, this face, this face, and this face. But actually, yeah, I don't want that top face split too. My splitting tools are going to be this line and this line. Oh, wait. Can I not select two? Oh, I know what I need to do. Let me go back to the sketch. Okay, so I want to continue this line here, and here, and continue this line here, and here, continue this line here, yep, continue this line here, yep, and like so, yep. Okay, now I can use that whole profile, modify, split face, do this face, this face, this face, and this face, basically all of them. Oops. Let's see. Okay. And my split tool will now be this entire profile. Yep. That is exactly what I want. Now, I can take this face, let's see, this face, this face, and this face. And I can do press pull. And I can offset these faces by three-quarters of a millimeter. Why not? Okay, now that I've got those faces offset, holy cow, what happened there? Try this again. This face, oops, and this face, and I'll offset these faces by oh. Uh-huh. Maybe I won't do it that way. Maybe I will. Maybe I will for these two faces. So let me go back to split face here, and not split those two faces. So now then, I will select this face and this face. Oops. And I will offset these two faces by, let's see, yeah, millimeter. That sounds, whoops, -1 millimeter. Okay, beautiful. Now I will take and I will make a sketch on top of a quad point, and we group my view around it and zoom out and find out where the heck we are. Okay. So then I want to take and I want to project here. Right. Okay, first of all, construction. I'll project. Yeah, I'll just project this entire face. Okay. So then, I take this line, I take this line. Turn off construction. Now offset. Okay, I want to offset this line. And no, I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, I'll draw this line and turn construction off here, and it should be parallel to that line. Now I'll draw this line here. And these two I think are already parallel because that's horizontal. So, okay. Now, take dimension from here to here. I want this, I want to push this to be okay. This to be 1 millimeter. I want this to be 1 millimeter. Okay, that should be fine. I want to extrude. Oops, extrude. Profile number 1. Profile number 2. From there to there. Looks good. Okay, so that gives me something to tie off there. Now I will do some fillets inside of here. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so now we've got that little mouse bite there for the other strings to tie on to. So now we will create pattern. Am I going to have a problem here? No, no, no. Maybe I will. Where's my axis? Yes, my center is right there. Haha, hooray for... Okay, so I want pattern features. Features I want to pattern are this fillet, this, and this. And I should put all those features. Okay, I don't need this split here. And that did nothing. Okay, so new strategy. Circular pattern. Faces. Because every once in a while, I think it has everything to do with the fact that that sketch is used to do the I think that's all the faces. What axis? That axis. And okay. Bango. Bingo. Bango. Oingo boingo. Oh, whatever. Okay. Now we got that, and we can go back to this mirror and blah bloom. There we go. So that is pretty much the structure there. There will be strings that tie from here to here, here to here, here to here, and most importantly, here to here. This is the one that will provide the tension that will keep the piece upright and steady. These are just there for stabilization. That is the tinsegrity sculpture. Couple more odds and ends before I go into finishing this off. I'm going to go ahead and do some fillets here. I'm not going to fillet that bottom, so I want that bottom to be kind of, but I'm going to fillet around these edges here. And you know what? I'm going to move that fillet to before this mirror here. So, bing, bang, boing, bong, blarg, flarg, narg. Arg, jarg. And I am saying random weird stuff because I can. And I'll go ahead and do these little vertical doodly pops too. Boom, boom. And flap it around. And bump. And probably do maybe a 1 millimeter dealing. Give it a nice curve. Ew. That. Oh, you know what? I can fix that. So is this circular pattern? No, not that pattern. This circular pattern. Can I move this? Wait after this. Yeah, they don't affect anything. Okay, because the next one I want to do the fillet on. Let's just make sure. Okay, so the mirror here. Boom. And then circular here. Boom, boom. Yeah. That's good. Okay, I can come back here because there's one other thing that I want to do with this body. And I'm going to go ahead and hide. Is this body 5? Here. It's just a spurious. I'm going to go ahead and yeah, I'm just going to remove that. It was a little leftover from that mouse bite to. Okay. Back at it, I'm going to hide this triangular body here. I take this face, I'm going to extrude. I'm going to turn this triangular body back on. Okay, that way it kind of blends into that corner a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fillet these edges here. Rotate around and pop these edges into the fillet. And let's see. Ooh. Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna do. If I do this face and fillet. Okay, so let me do this edge, this edge. Yep. Ooh, this is finicky. Okay, can I do a 0.5 millimeter? Yeah. Do 0.5 millimeter on both sides. And once I join these two bodies together, I will do another set of fillets. Okay, so I'm going to go from here to here, get that, and then basically modify, combine, and I want to join this and this. And then repeat that and do this and this. Okay. Now no, I don't want to do that. Let's see if I can do this fillet. I hate it when this happens where it just decides it does not want to scroll for whatever reason. That edge might be a bit troublesome. We'll see. Yeah. So when you have these bits of hateful geometry, sometimes it can be a bit of a pain in the so see what I can do with this edge here. Not much. So what I can do is I can go back to this sketch here And slide this little poochie pie up a little bit. Make sure I still look decent. Okay. Solves that problem. Except it's still being hateful, so let me suppress that feature. Actually, go ahead and there we go. Do a moderate fillet like that, and then up here. Like that. All right. So, actually, two distinct pieces here. I think. Or are they? You know, it looks for all the world. There's got to be some chirality to this. Let's see. So this one is STL. Folder. Integrity. I'll say that one to integrity. And then take this one, save as STL. I just realized you cannot see the browser in Fusion 360. Nor can you see any of the dialogues. Sorry about that. But yeah, apparently it's a Fusion 360 thing. Okay. So we will go into Simplify 3D. And we will clear the build plate of the things that we have. And we will go to Integrity. And I'm going to bring both of these bodies in. And this one, because I'm curious to see if they are both the same. And, so let me take this one and rotate it 100 and something odd degrees. Yeah. It might not actually be chiral after all. Look at that. So chirality would mean that these two are kind of mirrors of one another, but it looks like Yeah, I only need to create the file for one item, one pad. They're actually, huh. So we actually flip this upside down, then, haha. Well, check that out. I had no idea. That is actually rather fascinating. So I'll go ahead and remove this one, and then center and arrange it. And let's see what it's going to do with the last settings. Yep, there's going to be that one support column there in the middle. So I think, and that's only really to hold the very end there. I think I'm happy with that. And I guess there's going to be, yeah. See, is there going to be some supports underneath that? Yep, there will be some supports underneath that. Though I do want to change, I think, one of the support settings that I changed earlier. I was experimenting with some other stuff. I'll keep that resolution the same. Horizontal offset. Set that to 0.4. Now it will make that a little bit sloppy up there, but I think the majority of what I want is going to be covered, yeah. See, I want to do 0.2, but it's too tight in on that, so it doesn't. And then there's support underneath there, it's almost negligible. And I don't know exactly how important support really is going to be up here anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and print it with those support settings. Yeah, I think I'll print it with those support settings. Let me give a little bit more think on that. I definitely want to keep my sep layers the same. Actually, I thought about increasing that a little bit, but no, I don't think I will. Maybe I'll try 0.30 millimeter, 0.3 millimeter. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that'll do. It shouldn't be too. This is actually going to be a fairly easy support to break out anyway. So I'm not overly concerned about that. I should. It's kind of a neat little design anyway. I mean, it looks like it. You know, I could probably retain this later for like a little base plate for like, I don't know, a flying machine of some sort. But yeah, I think I am done. So anyway, hey, if you stop by the stream, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I am going to go and put this on my SD card now, and I'm going to 3D print this little beastie boy. So it is going to take a little while to print, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. It was a fun, approximately hour and a half. Good stuff indeed. So, thanks for joining me. Bye.